1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
What up, mongrels, and welcome to another e-bike review. And today's weapon of choice is the Engwe Engine X. What is it? It is a 250 watt motor, UK legal, 20-inch wheel, 4-inch fat tyre, mechanical disc brake, 7-speed, 38 kilogram, so it does weigh quite a bit. E-bike, folding e-bike at that. What do you get for your money? You get a big display screen with all the computer gizmos and gadgets, which gives you all the information you need. More on that later. Easy access up and down pedal assist, 5 levels of pedal assist. Cadence sensor. Lockable suspension at the front. Mid suspension and rear suspension, giving you a very comfortable ride. You've got brake lights and LED lights at the front. Metal mud guards. As I said, 250 watt motor. Shimano Tawny gear set, entry level, does the job, and it folds really quickly and easily. I'll quickly show you. I won't fold it completely because, well, it's a pain in the bum. It's not a pain in the bum at all. Oh, it's also got a key, so you can turn it on and off and remove the battery. The battery is a 48 volt 13 amp hour battery. They say that this is capable of 160 kilometer range on pedal assist. I'm guessing if you're really light using pedal assist 1, I'll go through what I've done so far. As you can see here, you've got this latch, just pull the little catch forward, pop that out, that'll fold in the middle, like so. Don't really want to fold it. Your pedals fold up also. And then this little catch, same again, you pop up, pull out, and your handlebars will drop. Then you can fold your bike in the middle to about that size. Yeah, fit in the back of your car. You've got a little doohickey there, so you can put it down and rest it when it is in its folded state. Pick all this back up. That quick to lock it all. You've got a side stand, which is always handy. All in all, a really comfy bike. I'll lower this a little bit. It's got a rider height from Tom Cruise to Greg Davis or Sasquatch. As you can see there, the mid suspension works fine. Front suspension, have I got that open or locked? Got it locked at the minute. Front suspension works absolutely fine as well. Lock it off, that's going nowhere. Nice little e-bike. Take the battery out to charge it indoors. Everyone's a winner. I'll grab you, give you a quick walk round, let you have a look at it, take it on a spin, give it some jibber jabber en route. You can hear about me monkey stumping all my woes. Yeah, let's have a look. So, starting at the cockpit. Turn it on, there's your screen. As you can see, I have done 22.6 miles today. It's showing 3 bars. That's more like 2 bars of battery. Do the math on that. That is out of 5. Flappy little palm doohickeys there. Very easy to go through. At the top, press your button. It will go through all your odometer, your trips, etc, etc. Bottom one here turns your lights on and off. There's your power button. Pedal assist up and down. Turn that off, eh? Got a bell rather than a horn. Probably need to adjust that a bit to get it to ring better. So it's not too obnoxious, not too loud, you know. Normal Shimano Tawny gear set, it is what it is. Click, click. Got a throttle here, that will take you up to walking pace, unless you unlock it. More flappy pedals, brake levers that are nicely positioned and work a treat. There's your front light that I've not even taken the plastic off yet. Suspension, what are they, 160? 160 inch brakes, mechanical disc brakes to keep the cost down. You've got your key there to turn it on. This is caked in mud. I've been doing a little bit of off-road. That's to unlock it. Obviously your pedals. They lock, plastic pedals, but really hold your feet well. Doohickey, more suspension, 25 kilogram rack, adjustable seat. Obviously there's your gear set, Shimano Tawny as I said, and your motor. Brake lights, metal mud guards. So as I say then, I'm just about to take it on a spin. You can have a look. That's how high up that goes. And these handlebars currently are on their lowest setting. So yeah, it takes a wide range of people. Have a look at a vid of me riding it, and then I'll bring thee back. So as normal, we'll see what it's like to pedal as a bike. No power assist on. Pulling away in first gear. Second. Third. Fourth. Currently doing 12 miles an hour. There we go, up into seventh. Rides absolutely fine on the flat. You can feel, again, the size of the tyres. Seating position is fine. Pedals seem to hold my feet, getting decent leg extension. Although I do need to step off the seat to put my feet down. But no, just like the Engine Pro 2.0, which is my favourite bike. Happy days, nothing to report, nothing to complain about. So as usual, the handlebars are pretty narrow. The seat is plush and comfortable. The 3-point suspension coupled with the fat tyres absolutely nailed the job they meant to do. I'm currently doing 16 miles an hour, just cruising. Zero need for the motor. Brakes as usual are the wrong way round, but pretty sharp. Mechanical disc brakes, but they certainly do a job. So we're coming up to our first 10% hill. I'm in top gear, which is 7th. Just gone up to pedal assist 5. This boasts 55 Newton meters of torque to climb hills on a cadence sensor motor. Click that onto 5. As you can see, I'm putting a little bit of pressure on the pedals, but that's purely because I'm doing 15 miles an hour and it is absolutely motoring up this hill. No heavy breathing from this fat knacker, no sweating, nicely in control. One thing I have noticed is that the power delivery is a lot quicker on this than it has been on other cadence sensors that I've used, which is a welcome addition. With its 250 watt motor, it delivers just enough power, although I have no doubt it's got so much more in the tank than 250 watt. Now as you can see, 20 mile an hour, my legs are going not too fast, but a little bit quick to be comfortable. Coming down here at 30 mile an hour now, handles absolutely fine. I can't start waving around too much, there are cars behind me. Uphill, downhill, double tick. A very comfortable bike yet again. I do wish though, Engwe, you would sort out your gear ratios so that people can pedal up to about 28, 30 mile an hour without looking like Roadrunner. This is me at 25. Yeah, not the best, but still good. So 3 miles into the ride so far. As usual, it's an Engwe bike, been zero issues. The manoeuvrability of it is absolutely exceptional. Its comfort is great. And one thing I really do like about Engwe, they seem to understand what people want. So you take, for example, my Engine Pro 2.0, which is a torque sensor bike, 750 watt motor. In essence though, this is the same bike. Thank you. So what they've done, they've taken a concept that works with the comfort, suspension, size of the tyres and usability, put a much smaller engine in it and turned into a cadence sensor so that you have effectively got a throttle with your feet. Morning. Oh, it would have been a lot easier if I hadn't have had my stick pointing out the front. That's my riding, not the bike. Yeah, so they adjust it to suit every market. So although obviously I much prefer my Engine Pro 2.0 because of the speed, because of the torque, because of the rideability, this still gives you the same comfort in riding, but with that cadence sensor. So, you know, if you're happy to change up and down pedal assist to get up to the speed you want, this is a bike for you. It's a bit cheaper, as you can tell, with the brakes being non-hydraulic, what they call mechanical. That'd be the word I look for. This is still set to legal limits. 250 watt motor, can't get done by the old Bill. Has got a throttle up to walking pace. I have zero doubt if I unlock this, it'll be very much like the L20 250 watt motor, where that'll give you 24 mile an hour out of throttle, about 28 if you pedal like a nutter. But so far, happy days. Let's just check them brakes. They stop you. And you see how quickly that kicked in. Brilliant. Now to an off-roady sort of cycle track, a little bit slippy, it's going to be a little bit muddy. You can see the pickup. I'm still in pedal assist 5 because, you know, who wants to go slower than 15.5 mile an hour? In fairness to you, I'm currently sporting a bit of a groin injury, so pedaling is narking a little bit of mud. Will I die? No, I won't. So I am going to be relying heavily on the pedal assist today just to carry me along. Bear that in mind at the end when I tell you the battery level opposed to the distance covered. I think this says it's got an estimated range of 160 kilometres through some soft mud, up and over this tree thing. Suspension working fine. Never in any doubt. It's got a bell rather than a horn, which is good. Thank you. Yeah, I do like the comfort of these bikes. Those big fat tyres alone would take up a lot of these bumps, but with a 3-point suspension, lockable at the front, living the dream. Living the dream. So let's have a little look at how quickly this motor kicks in at. 1 second and you're away. That's pretty mental. One thing that is annoying me slightly, I've got a cable at the back which is just bowed out slightly, my foot keeps catching it. I'll pull over and sort that out. That's me putting the bike together, not the bike's fault. So coming down the bumpy cycle track, which is tarmacked but got the roots coming through to make it all testing the suspension. If you want testament to not necessarily just this bike but e-bikes in general, if you were to look at my other channel, step away from the screens for all your outdoor needs, you'll see that I've done a fair bit of bike packing and cycling. And the common denominator in all of those vids is just how much I bloody hate cycling. Now, since people have been sending me these bikes to review, I've sort of found a new enjoyment in it, because it takes out the real crappy part of cycling, mainly hills, and because your legs aren't pumping and pumping and pumping, your monkey stump doesn't hurt as much as normal. So people say that you're cheating when you're riding these things. I'm going to do a 25-30 mile loop today. Wouldn't have done that in a million years on a normal bike because I hate cycling. I've got another one to do after this. 60 miles I'm going to have cycled in one day and been able to with a groin strain. Sorry about pointing at me polka there. You know, it's all good in the hood. So, as I ride along here, nice and relaxed and chilled, we'll go through what we can do with the controllers. You've got your plus and minus, obviously that goes up and down, and your pedal assist. Bottom button is your power on and off. top button allows you to scroll through all of the information that you can gather from your computer. Average speed, trip mileage, odometer in total, max speed. Then you've got the bottom side button, which turns your lights on and off. All very easy to find, all very intuitive. Just make sure there's no more. When you're riding the bike, you don't even need to look. The adjustments on there, you do a bit of fiddling. I'm not going to go through it now. It's in the leaflet you get. And 2 seconds. Passing on your right. Thank you. Thank you. I like the fact that it's got a bell rather than a horn, because they can be a bit obnoxious. The display on the screen, very easy to read. I can't say what it's like in bright sunlight because I haven't got any sunlight. It is a December day and brass monkey weather. Very easy to read at the moment. The battery indicator is just a battery with bars that come off of it. Doesn't tell you how much power you're using. Constantly got your miles per hour up on the screen and what pedal assist level you're in. Absolute doddle to ride this thing. As you can see, there is no problem at all. Whips around. If a cadence sensor is what you're after, yeah, you can't go far wrong with it. I don't know what price it's up for. There'll be links in description. Obviously, if you click link and buy it, I get a kickback. Bear that in mind. But have a look elsewhere for them. One thing to bear in mind that could be seen as a negative. Although this bike is legal to the UK limits, it does look exactly the same as its bigger brother that is not. If the old bill are doing a little bit of a roundup of the old Uber Eats riders that have the big, powerful, fast bikes, and they pull one over that looks like this, there's a chance you could get stopped. I have never been stopped doing a review on this island, yet there have been people pulled over on e-bikes. Something to bear in mind. I mean, all you'd ever need to do is bring your instruction manual with you, which tells you exactly what power and everything it's got. Show that to them, hopefully it'll keep them quiet. Again, I could be worrying about nothing, or I could be making a point that you need to take into account. Look at it how you wish. As you can see here though, buzzing through town, on the cycle paths, no problem. I am 8.1 miles into my trip today, with me groin the way it is, and I do not feel any real discomfort more than I already did. It's an absolute doddle riding these things. I am a fan of this style of bike, maybe not necessarily the aesthetics of it, but the practicalities of them, yeah, you really can't fault them. Although, I do have to say, they are heavy as for Jesus. I think it's about 38 kilo, but they're not heavy to operate and ride. Look, with the speed that the motor comes on in this, it is going to be a lot better for going off-road than some of the other cadence sensors I've had. Thank you. Yeah, it's a winner for me. It's a very enjoyable ride. I better not show the wife. Bloody Christmas. But it is Christmas, perfect time to buy your loved ones an e-bike. We're on the rough stuff now for the next 10 miles or so. Metal mud guards are going to keep me dry. It's going to get a little bit boggy. It goes over this bumpy stuff, no problem at all. It's a fat tyre e-bike. Don't want to be splashing people. Hello. Thank you. So nice and wet. Let's have a little look. Legs are dry. Yep, that works a treat. I think with the thickness of the tyres, it spreads it wide anyway, and then you've got obviously the mud guards as well. Oh, that was a bit deeper though. Lucky I've got waterproof boots on. Thank you. Yep, so slippy and muddy going through there, as you saw. No wobbles, no nothing. Let's have a little look. A little bit of wet around the ankles, not a lot. I wouldn't complain about it. So while I'm sauntering through this slippery, bumpy, gravelly track, let's go through some of the negatives of this bike. The gear set. Although it is perfectly usable, it changes and shifts through the gears, not a problem at all. As previously stated, it does run out of speed at about 20-22 mile an hour, where your legs are uncomfortable. The weight is obviously an issue. If you wanted to be sort of uber critical, you could ask for wider handlebars. That's something you could change if you wish. They certainly work. And they do help as well when you're going through narrower gaps, like the old horse turnstiles and stuff. But yes, wider handlebars would be better off-road. All of these problems, the seat is comfortable enough. It's got 3-point suspension. Yeah, all of these problems are overcomeable. And they're not problems, they're really not. So what you've got to look at with things like the slightly cheaper components or less expensive components on this bike, like the brakes, it saves you a bit of money. Are they as good as the hydraulic brakes? No. Do they stop you? Most certainly do. Pedals are absolutely holding my feet fine. I've not had a good look at them yet. I will do shortly. So just taking this over the slippery, muddly, cobbly bit as I always do, rather than the path that you can see up there. Because if you're going to slip anywhere, you will slip here. Big spongy stuff. Front end went a little bit. No problem to control it. Happy days. It's an effortless ride. To the point I'm boring myself singing superlatives about it. It's not a small chunk of change. It's not a lot of money for an e-bike, but it's a fair amount of money, and you want to be certain that it does everything you want it to do for that money. I don't know what you want to do with a bike. You've stumbled across this video for a reason. Pull what you can out of it. Me monkey stump ain't dead yet either, which is a bonus, because I do not like bike seats. One thing I would prefer on this bike would be to have 3-inch wheels rather than 4-inch wheels, purely because it'll be slightly less road resistance and they're plenty fat enough. My 2 cents worth. So we are 12.2 miles in. That's exactly what I thought, mate. And I've just lost my first bar of battery out of 5. So, is that 60 miles? If it works out that way. And I have been fairly heavy on it. I can't remember what it said it done. Was it 160 kilometre range, which works out about right, I think. We'll see by the end of it. One thing I will say as well, for the majority, most bike companies have been good with me. Engwe especially. Never ask any questions, never ask for any approvals. I've had a few ask for approvals, which obviously they don't get. But they just take the review I give them for what it is. Some do try to get you to hit points. I'll tell them from the off I ain't going to do it. There's a lot to be said for companies that have enough faith in their product. And I've yet to have a bad one off of Engwe, I've got to say, and I have ridden all sorts. Bleeding cold today though. In fact, you'd think that'd have an effect on the battery, wouldn't you? As you can see, this is very, very bumpy, but suspension working a treat. This style of bike is definitely good. I know many other brands do this style of bike. Shame they just look like a 5-year-old's drawn them. 20 miles in currently. Still climbing big hills. Down to my last 2 battery bars. Things are going good. One thing with this bike, it really does need more gears. Not more gears, a better top speed. Along that flat, easily exceeding the 15.5 miles an hour. Yeah, legs going a bit quick. But if you're after a bike that you can poodle along at 15 miles an hour all day long, there you go, coming down now to 15. Engine's kicked in, lovely. Yeah, he'll do it all day long. Obviously you can unlock it. That'll give you about 24 to 28, making it a much more usable bike. Remember, when you do put these bikes together as well, after your first couple of rides, check all the nuts and bolts. That's just standard. You should do that with everything. Sorry about licking my lips and looking like a bit of a mungo, but it's bleeding cold. I've got one behemoth hill to do, a little bit of off-road, which I might not be able to rag down because it's chalky and slippery, and we have had a lot of wet. And then I'll give you my final thoughts. Very comfy bike. So in the cold, with the battery a lot lower than it was, it still gives me plenty of grunt up hills, but it does seem to have diminished a little bit. So I don't know if the straight line power output is the same from full battery to dead battery. But I'd say 2 bars left. I had to change down into 4th gear. It was a big, long, steep hill, probably about 12% in places, but just got to say what I see, ain't I? Just got to say what I see. So, very wet, very muddy, very slippery, but I've got to check to see if it is capable of some off-road. I will be taking it slowly, because as I say, chalk is very slippy. Pedals are holding my feet fine. I could have done with a slightly lower saddle. Check there's no one there. And we're in. Oh yeah. No problem. Whee! No problem with the handling of it. Obviously I'm just being very cautious because of the ground conditions. Sorted. Proper boggy. Proper boggy. Let's pull over and have a look and give you my final thoughts. So what do I think then of this little beast? My own personal bike that I use all the time is the Engine Pro, which is exactly the same as this, but with a 750 watt motor, not UK legal, and a torque sensor. Difference between a cadence and a torque sensor: when you're pedaling with these, obviously it just goes. With a torque sensor, the more effort you put in, the more assistance the motor gives you. I prefer the latter. But the thing with Engwe, what they do, they will take a model, they know that people like different things, and they adapt it to suit. This has got all of the comfort of, well, it's exactly the same bike, just with a different sensor. 55 Newton meters of torque, absolutely nailed going up hills with me. Zero problem at all. It did appear to slightly lose power the more battery decreased, but it still got me up every single hill. As I say, it is a hefty bike, but you can pick it up and you can put it in the car. Seat was as comfortable as a bike seat can be. You know, you're not going to get the old Harley Davidson bike seat, but it did do a job. there was no issues there really. Suspension worked a treat, tyres gripped, and the mud guards stopped me from getting a mess. Computer monitor, it's not the brightest of sunlight, was absolutely fine. The ride was really comfortable. I have been impressed. 22.6 miles I've done today, and as I say, it's still showing half battery. It's slightly below half battery, so you're looking at 40 to 50 mile, I would say, if you ride it normally. If you want to be economical, you can be. To cycle this thing without the pedal assist is absolutely doable on the flats. I reckon it would be a bit of a chore going uphill purely because of the weight and the rolling resistance with the fat tyres, but it pedals like a normal bike. You do need to have the seat higher so that your feet can barely touch the ground to get the decent leg extension when you're pedaling. Doesn't matter, the frame is low, you're not going to crotch yourself if you have to step off. You can de-restrict it nice and easily. I haven't de-restricted this one, but it is literally a case of going into the settings. There's plenty of YouTube videos, go and have a look at them. That will give you a throttle capable of about 24 mile an hour, 24 to 28 when you're pedaling. The biggest downside with the Shimano Tawny gear set is when you get up to the top gear, you're only really good for 20 to 22 mile an hour before your legs are going too fast. I don't know if you could change the front ring or the gear set at the back, that would sort that out. Handlebars, I personally would like wider handlebars, but there's nothing wrong with these. Absolutely in control. As you've seen on a couple of the clips from the video, I slipped out a couple of times because it is very wet, very muddy, never fell off. It is what it is, great little bike. Engwe always surprised me. The price of this is around the grand mark. Depends when you get it. It could be as much as 1,400 quid, as low as 899. I don't know when you're looking at this. I don't know when the sales are on, be it Black Friday, Christmas, I don't know, Engwe's owner's nan's birthday. Couldn't tell you. What I do know is I like the bike. For a cadence sensor, it was pretty instant. When you start, you normally get a couple of second delay. This kicked in after a second. It did stop pushing when you stop pedaling after about 2 seconds. But pull the brakes, bang, engine dies. Not a problem at all. What do you reckon? They come in a range of colours. I like Engwe. So, you got any questions? Let me know down below. And until next time, ta-ra!